You are now experiencing distance nerding. We're here
To nerd together.
together. All right. We're talking anything pop culture, news, movies, music, food, wrestling, comics, Comic Cons, whatever you're nerding out on, we want to talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the download. Let's jump into this. It is now time for all the rumors. And I'm very excited for the stuff we're going to talk about here. So, ready, fight. All right. Legendary is starting to pump up its Street Fighter movie, and Andrew Koji from Bullet Train, Jason Momoa, who was most recently in the Minecraft movie, Noah Centeo from Warfare, and WWE megastar Roman Reigns, who was also in Hobbs and Shaw, are all in talks to star in the upcoming live action film. Andrew Koji, known for Warrior, Bullet Train, and Gangs of London. Momoa, who is fresh off his $1 billion box office success, the Minecraft movie, which sure. But now Apple's Chief of War, starting August 1st, Dune Messiah and Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, who he is going to be Lobo, and I'm so excited for that.
Super
Uh,
excited.
I know Noah Centeo, is it Centennial? Centennial. Recently started A24's Intense Warfare and Netflix. Wait a minute. I
The
didn't see the
recruit.
Netflix ahead of time. I don't know where I put it.
He's also playing He-Man in the
Is
upcoming Masters of the Universe movie.
Oh, he's the one that's playing He-Man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Of course, Roman Reigns, he's a WWE royalty with a presence that could absolutely dominate the screen. He's no stranger to action with roles in Hobbs and Shaw and The Wrong Missy. Momoa
Mhm.
is said to be taking on the role of Blanca. It's kind of weird because he's Brazilian, but the electric skin jungle warrior. If this goes through, it's hard not to be curious about how far they'll go with the character's mutated look and wild energy. Um, Deadline also confirms that Koji and Centennial are in talks to lead the film as Ryu and Ken, respectively.
Oh, you
The
think they're
legend
gonna have the bandanas?
they better. If they don't, then it's not worth it at all. Like, come on, they need to look. They need to look like their characters, and I don't want to get too much into it, but like there is versions of Street Fighter that are really good. The legendary duo have been the face of the Street Fighter franchise since its inception, known for their rival bromance and devastating Hadouken combos. And the
Rival
latest
bromance.
I know, right? It really is. That's the only way you can describe it is like it's a rival bromance. And the
I
latest
love you,
piece,
man. I love you too, but you're my rival.
well, they trained together under Goken, so I mean, like well, like kind of within that too. Latest piece is that Roman Reigns has landed the role of Akuma, which is kind of a big deal. Ryu and Ken's tragic villain and the murderer of their master Goken, who is also Goken's brother.
What?
Spoilers. Yeah. So tacos
You
on the
just
table.
ruined the whole first movie.
I guess so. Okay. So there's a movie called Shadow. Oh, I think it's called Shadow Fist. It's Street Fighter Shadow Fist, which was on Hulu.
Mhm.
That is it's that whole story, and it was really well done. It's the only good Street Fighter movie so far, and it was like a web movie that got onto Hulu later on. Well, tacos on the table. Are these casting rumors a knockout, or specifically knockout? Perfect.
Did you do it already?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear what it said. I Yeah, okay. They're on the table.
They're on the table. You feel like
Yeah.
that worked, like the casting on that works?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. My only thing with this, my tacos are on the table, which because just Hollywood's gonna Hollywood. Um, I'm cool with Andrew Koji as Ken. Uh, Noah Centennial can fit Ryu or can fit Ken if they make him blonde. My thing is
No, but
just
he is blonde now. because of Masters of the Universe. He's blonde in
Oh,
that.
that's right. Which that could make sense. My only thing here, Roman Reigns could be Akuma because you're gonna put him in so much makeup, like he's basically an Oni by the point he's Akuma. Jason Momoa is the only one that I'm kind of off for if he's Blanca.
Well, who would he be if he wasn't Blanca?
That's the only thing is I'm trying to think of that. Like, who would he be? Like, would you put him in all that makeup? And the other thing is, he's supposed to be Brazilian. So, like, kind of what I don't want is for them to do what they did with the first Street Fighter movie, where it's like we're just gonna go and ignore every bit of lore for each of these characters, and it's like these characters have established lore, and if you want to do a good movie, you can do it where you're not completely changing every bit of their backstory.
Yeah, but like who else would he play?
Sack
You're
Deadpool
like
was
got all deep and I'm like,
well, no, so Sack
I don't
Deadpool
care.
was saying he could be Vega. I think he could probably pull off a Spaniard. Nash is good for him. I don't know about Guile. He could be a good Nash. Who is another Air Force guy that's like one of Guile's kind of buddies. I also need Dan Hibiki in this. If Dan Hibiki's not in this, we riot. Dan Hibiki is think Ken and Ryu. He's another Satsui no Hado guy, but he wears pink and he never finished his training, so like all of his moves are like terrible. Like he tries to throw a Hadoken and it's very impotent. But you can be a problem with Dan Hibiki if you know how to use him because you can do a lot of close range combos with him.
I stopped listening.
But yes, my tacos are definitely on the table for this. As far as for the three, Jason Momoa again, he could be Nash. Bison is kind of a stretch, but I mean, I guess you could have him be Bison. If Roman plays Chun Li, Jason would play Cammy. Can Jason do a British accent and does his ass look good in the leotard? That's all that matters.
His ass looks good in a leotard, but he cannot do a British accent.
That's kind of where we're at. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next story here.
You're gonna do that one too.
I'm gonna do that one too. Okay, I don't mind doing this.
Oh, and then
Uh,
the next one.
I mean, we can switch off. That's fine. I won't be upset. Oh boy. Oh, I forgot how the melody to this goes. Nothing can stop us now. I think that's what it is.
Oh, is it the we're having such a good time. We're having a ball.
No, it's from one of the rides.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I
Nothing
have
can
no
stop
idea.
us now. I think that's what it is. According to a new rumor, John Favreau, the man who's behind, who brought us Iron Man and the Mandalorian, might be developing a Mickey Mouse movie for the studio. Interesting. Favreau has basically become Disney's go to guy for reviving legacy characters and building billion-dollar franchises. He kicked off the entire MCU with Iron Man, reimagined the Jungle Book into a visually stunning hit, and turned The Lion King into a $1.6 billion global success. And of course, The Mandalorian helped reshape the Star Wars franchise, launching a whole new era of Disney Plus originals. Favreau is also working on a series about Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So, Mickey's lesser known predecessor, the guy who really kicked off Disney's entire career, Walt Disney, I mean. So, tacos on the table. Is Mickey making a comeback or on a runaway railway of rumors?
Wow. That tripped you up.
It did. And that's where that song is from. The Nothing Can Stop Us Now is from the Runaway Railway. God,
Runaway
I can't say that.
rails.
Runaway Railway. Damn tongue twisters. What do you think?
I'm gonna be real here. My least favorite part of Disney and the whole Disney universe is Mickey Mouse.
Really?
I do not like Mickey Mouse. I'm sure I did as a kid, but I'm over him and Minnie. I think Daisy Duck needs her time in the sun.
Ooh, hot take.
I just can't with Mickey. Bring back Mortimer.
Mortimer Mouse. Oh my god, that they really should bring him back though. Like he was a good antagonist. Um, that's the hot take of the year right there.
I told you I was going to bring the fire.
Oh yeah, you're not my favorite person either.
Like, I have nothing against him. I'm just over him. Talk
Oh,
about like Joker level overrated. Mickey Mouse has that in spades.
oh man. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man. My tacos are on the table mainly just because whether you like it or not, if there's a chance to do a live action Mickey movie and Disney sees, especially with Bob Iger, they see that they can make $1 billion from this, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So again,
And
whether you
we'll
like
all
it or
go
not,
see it.
we will. We
Ugh.
all will. We're all gonna go watch a live action Mickey Mouse movie.
So I guess my tacos are reluctantly on the table.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and move on here.
I'll do this one.
I was gonna say, do you want to do this one?
Although, wait, which is the next one? Because I want to do that one too. I'll just do both
Sorry,
of them.
just do them both.
All right. Get your tidy whities ready. Peace about to be made. I have not seen the show yet,
Okay.
so I was probably really inappropriate. James Gunn is not holding back when it comes to Peacemaker season 2. With the DCU getting in full blown reboot mode, Gunn is making sure Peacemaker thrives in his future DC plans. In a new interview with EW, Gunn shed some light on what fans can expect. Gunn teased the connection of Peacemaker to the great DCU stories they're going to tell. So you've seen what we call the cuck, kook. I'm going
Okay.
to say kook. Quantum unfolding chamber in the first season of Peacemaker, and we see more about that technology in Superman.
I'm sure
The
I'm sure it's pronounced cuck. That sounds like a joke that they would
yeah,
make.
the cuck is the center of the story in Peacemaker season 2. We see a lot of different characters from Superman in the season, including Isabella and Nathan and Sean, who Phil got to interview a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And then we see a bunch of other characters later on in the season from other parts of the DCU and from Superman. There might even be one really, really, really big cameo near the end of the show. That's right, Crypto. The second season of Peacemaker will premiere on Max on August 21st of 2025. Tacos on the table. Will Jen watch season 1 of Peacemaker before season 2 premieres?
My tacos are off the table. She is not gonna watch season 2 at all.
No, remember I turned the leaf on Cena. So
John
I am
Cena.
now over even though I can't see him.
Right. No, nobody can see him. That's the whole point.
So really the real talk is on the table is James Gunn setting up Peacemaker to be the cornerstone of the new DCU?
I think just because season 1 is canon and he is gonna be messing around with kind of like dimensions and time and everything like that. I feel like he is kind of setting it up to be what kind of how you take things from the DCEU and bring those things over to the DCU.
Yeah, I can see that. James Gunn can really kind of do whatever the heck he wants.
Mhm.
So he can bring anybody he wants back.
Yeah. And
So,
also the
but I agree.
cameo at the end, I believe, is going to be Crypto, and he's going to fight Eagly.
Oh yeah, I definitely think it's crypto.
Hmm.
They got to get their money's worth out of that technology that they had to use for Ozo to be crypto.
Either that, or again, they're going to have like Crypto and Eagly just like bonding as friends.
We're gonna find out Eagly's not really from Earth. It's like from some
Eagly's
other
just
planet.
he's actually from oh, what's the planet that they're from? Thanagar. He's from Thanagar.
he's, he's the scout.
Yeah, he's like the Thanagarian. He's the Thanagarian equivalent to a dog.
No, he's the he's the Kal-El. He's the Thanagarian Kal.
He's a Thanagarian Kal-El. Even though we like they're establishing Hot Girl in Superman.
Oh
Right?
my
It's like
god,
no,
what
yeah.
if like Hot Girl and Eagly just bond the fuck out of each other?
What if they do? But what if it's like a weird bird person thing?
That would be amazing.
I am
Fuck
bird
you,
person.
Tammy.
Yeah, I am bird person.
I am bird person. I am
Oh,
sad.
Psych Deadpool said Eagly's from Daxam.
Oh man, that would be amazing.
If he was Daxamium,
A Daxamite.
yeah. Oh man, that would be good. Yeah, Jason Momoa does Flipper. The big secret on the show: Aquaman will go all the way with the fish on screen.
Oh, the boys already did that.
It's true. The boys already did that. All right. Well, let's move on to the next story here.
I have rumors everywhere. I couldn't even try to do an accent
I
like
have
that.
rumors
So it just,
everywhere.
see, yeah, okay. As the Andor season 2 finale closed the chapter on the Cassian Andor's journey, it left a haunting imprint with that emotional scene showing Bix Colleen cradling a child, left behind to carry the quiet legacy of a man who would never get to meet his own son or daughter. Now, a new rumor suggests Lucasfilm might not be done with her story. There are whispers that Adria Arjona Bix could be making a return in the future Star Wars
Yeah, neither of us can
projects.
speak tonight. It's great.
You'd think we hadn't been doing it for years.
I know.
Talk is on the table. Will Lucasfilm bring Bix back? Or is this a Poe excuse for a
Uh,
rumor?
that is that is that is absolutely terrible. That's the worst pun ever. That's a James joke for sure. Uh,
Definitely.
I was just talking with somebody about this probably over the weekend. Um, because they were talking about, oh yeah, they're gonna do a Andor season 3. We need to know what happened with Bix. They're not doing Andor season 3. I'm throwing that out there now. That is never going to happen. It was always planned for 2 seasons because it leads into the movie. There is no season 3 now. Bix coming back in another series, I was saying that makes sense. You can see Bix coming back, and either her coming back as an older character or her raising her child, their child growing up to be a part of the rebellion. We don't know the child's name. How do we not know? Like we don't know that this isn't a character that grows up to be a character we see in the original trilogy.
That's true.
So that's the thing, is that they could be more intertwined into this, and knowing that your father sacrificed himself for this rebellion uh would make this person go like 10 toes down to be even like more in the resistance, or maybe they tie it back to the resistance because it is supposed to be like 30, 40 years, you know and maybe this is again, what if the baby is a woman or a girl, grows up to be a woman, and ends up being I know that weird syntax there. What if
You're
this
so
ends up?
awkward tonight. You're
I
just
know it's weird.
awkward.
It is weird. What if? the baby grows up to be Laura Dern's character.
That's a thought.
So dad sacrifices himself for this rebellion to start. Daughter sacrifices herself to stop for the resistance to win a turning point in a battle.
No, I like that. I think that's awesome.
Right.
Hmm. Actually, I don't think I want any more Bix. She's happy and content, and she's got her baby.
The thing is the precedent that they've created with Andor is that rebellions aren't happy things, and people are not going to have happy endings within this universe because of imperial fascism.
Well, yeah,
And as
but
much as you want Bix to have a happy ending and just drift off into the sunset, I think eventually her rebel ties and her rebel history is going to catch up with her. As much as you don't want to hear that, as much as most people don't want to hear that, that is the only way to tie a compelling story into it and put more, like, her dying would be something devastating to fans, and that would put um more kind of respect on the admiral's character because she lost both of her parents to this war.
what if she turns into Mara Jade?
And that would be cool, but I mean, it doesn't. They never showed anything about her being force sensitive, so she wouldn't be Mara Jade. Or you're saying the
Maybe she
daughter?
didn't say anything because her boo didn't believe in all that.
Mm, could.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's my theory for the week right here, guys. My theory is, what if their daughter turns out to be? I gotta pull up her name.
I
Uh,
mean, I'd like to see more of the actress. So yeah,
Admiral
more Bix
Holdo.
would be great.
Admiral Holdo.
Oh yeah, Hulda.
Yeah. So what if they had a daughter, or like say even in this, it's almost like the Leia story, right? Where instead of her being hidden from the Empire, her parents are both killed. Her dad sacrificed himself. We would say Bix dies in a raid, and she gets adopted by the Holdo family, and she becomes an admiral.
Yeah, that could be it.
So Vice Admiral Holdo, who sacrificed herself uh, in probably, as much as people hated the movie, one of the most badass scenes to go out in, going light speed into a megastar destroyer
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
damage it. That is, I'm sorry, like, whether you liked Admiral Holdo or not, that is one of the most badass ways to go out, is fucking kamikaze at light speed.
yeah. That's pretty badass.
Yeah,
That's like a bitch boss move
yeah, absolutely. So that's
or
my
boss
theory right
bitch
now,
move.
is that their child ends up becoming Admiral Holdo.
There you go. You
And
heard it here first, everybody.
that's one of those things where, you know how, like, Clone Wars adds context to the prequels, and now everybody loves the prequels.
You
It's gonna
just
be,
add context randomly.
yeah, you just added context to Holdo, and now she's even more of a compelling character. So that
S-
sacrifice is even more meaningful.
Sprinkle that shit everywhere.
Exactly. So let's move on to the next story here. We're gonna jump into some Marvel rumors, guys, because Marvel has a couple of different things that are brewing about within the universe right now. The tacos, they are a tingling, because, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Holland's Spider-Man brand new day is shaping up to be way more than just a solo Spidey outing. While early rumors flew around about wild team ups like Spider Man and the Punisher taking on the Hulk, one part of that fan fiction sounding trio may actually be coming true. The latest rumors say that Mark Ruffalo is set to return as Bruce Banner and be more than just a cameo. Filming kicks off this July in London, and Spider Man Brand New Day swings into theaters July 31st, 2026.
Hmm.
Pretty intense stuff right there. One cap combo coming right up. A new rumor claims that the team led by Sam Wilson, let me change the screen, uh, will be Joaquin Torres, Carol Danvers, Bruce Banner, Wong, and Shang-Chi. They're officially on this team up with She-Hulk likely to join them. So a lot of people may be upset about that. They may like or not like this. It's an OP team because Carol Danvers is part of it too. So I mean,
Yeah.
she's kind of a she's problematic in the way that she is OP as hell.
Well,
Uh,
they'll also have two Hulks.
and we also would have two Hulks in this. That's right, because it would be Bruce and Jennifer. So that'd be
Hmm.
just all bad. Of course, we have a Jennifer on our team that is also a Hulk and will destroy everybody's lives. Right, Jen?
I prefer to say rebuild your lives.
Okay, I'll go with that. And then on to some stolen taco news. A Marvel fan managed to break onto the Avengers Doomsday set at Pinewood Studios in the UK. It has since been revealed that he's been hit with a formal warning from Marvel Studios, so we won't expect to see him breaking into any more movie sets anytime soon. The biggest reveal is that there are scenes being shot in Madripoor. I
Ooh.
know. So, guys, tacos on the table. We've got three here. Does Spidey like green tacos? Is Cap making his own combo platter of an Avengers team? And will they serve any tacos in Madripoor?
I feel like that should have been chimichangas.
That's only if Wade is there,
Why wouldn't he be?
because they've already said that, or Ryan Reynolds said that Wade's not going to be a part of the Avengers. That's when they're trying to get like end the franchise is when they put Wade on the Avengers.
Nerd. So, okay. So here's what I'm going to say.
Hmm.
They don't need to bring an OG Avenger into another Spider-Man movie. They really don't. It feels like to me that when you do stuff like that, that the creatives have lost control and it's all about corporate. I don't like that. Spider-Man can stand on his own.
Right.
He doesn't need a big green guy coming over.
I also feel like Sony and Marvel together, the way they're going to look at it is this is another team up event. This is a way for them to do another Avengers level movie, and do a team up. So, as much as I'm on the side with you where I don't feel like he needs a team up. It's it's always going to be about how much money can they make, and they know that they can make money on team ups, so they're going to do them more. Um,
Yeah.
they've been following this formula since Ragnarok. Is they realize that you can do multiple characters in a movie without them stepping on each other's toes, uh but like oversaturating characters, and they really did it in the last Spider-Man movie, because you get three Spider-Man in the movie and the fans eat it up. This is again, remember, I always talk about Hollywood learns the wrong lessons from movies.
Oh, I mean, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, they learn
I
the
know
wrong
it's going to
lessons from
happen.
movies. Right.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It's like we enjoyed having the older Spider-Man come into the movie and wrap up ties, but we don't really need that
Hmm.
again.
No, yeah,
You
we
know,
don't.
yeah, all it did was wrap up their corresponding storylines, and that gave a level of satisfaction to the fans. We don't need another multiple Spider-Man team up, right? We don't
Now,
need
Daredevil.
I mean, Daredevil can. Daredevil, I'm okay with if you are doing the the defenders and street level team up characters and stuff like that. Like when you're doing ground level team ups, but it's not overshadowing one character or the other. You know, like that. That's kind of why I still want Heroes for Hire.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like Heroes for Hire, you have two lead characters that are, you know, in their respective comics. Like I wouldn't mind a Hawkeye and Deadpool because that comic was amazing.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah,
Okay, we've gotten way off topic.
we have. So the next big thing is Cap making his combo. I do think that that makes sense for a team led by Sam Wilson. My only thing is I don't think Sam is going to lead that team as much as I think Sam needs a team to lead. If Carol's on that team, Carol is leading that team. And it's mainly because if you get into Civil War 2, Carol Danvers leads that team.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at it as well. And then like Wong, he's Sorcerer Supreme, so he would want to think he's leading as well. So there's a lot of leaders in that.
There would be a big power struggle between Carol. I don't think Wong would do that. I think Wong kind of just like he would be the voice of reason more than anything.
While he was raiding the fridge.
Yeah, because I feel like Carol and Sam would probably be going at it. Sam would be like super snarky. Carol would be like, "Well, I have the experience. I'm the leader." You know, because
Like, how
I
many
hate to
galaxies
put it
have you
this way.
saved?
I hate to put it this way, but Carol is a little cocky.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and she is going to be more on the level of no, I'm the leader, you know, and trying to take that out of Sam's hands. And Sam would kind of back down as much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have the Avenger, like Sam's Avengers, until maybe the end of Doomsday.
Yeah. And again, like I if this team is true, you know, then again, I think Carol's the one that's leading the team because she's not going to take direction from Sam Wilson.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, my tacos are off the table for this.
Hmm. And the last thing is going to be Madripoor. Madripoor makes sense. Madripoor makes all the sense.
Oh,
Just because,
definitely.
yeah, it's another place within the Marvel comic universe where you know major things happen.
Yeah, my tacos are on the table for this.
Yeah,
I
hundred
could
percent.
absolutely see this being in there.
Yeah, especially because they're doing that pivot to mutants. Madripoor makes all the sense.
One, it's not the first time we've seen it in the MCU either,
Right,
because of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So
right. We'll probably see the Power Broker in this too.
that would be awesome.
Yeah, because we haven't seen her since Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Mhm.
So
And Zemo's still dancing in the club.
yeah. Well, Zemo is supposed to be leading a team of his own too, so that's going to be interesting to see Baron Zemo come back, and he's going to be rocking that purple mask again.
The Zemonites.
The Zemanites. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for rumors. So we are going to jump into the news because we've got a whole bunch of stuff we're going to talk about. So, ladies and gentlemen, where's my button? Without super further delay, because I've already been delaying everything to begin with.
Man, he
Let's
knows how
jump
to
into
stretch.
right. Let's jump into the download.
You know how to stretch so well.
I
It's
love that it like did
read.
not. I love that it did not let me like bounce off of that. It was like, nope, we're freezing it here. Like, thank you, computer. That's great. Oh man. Well, before we get into all the craziness and all this, Jen, is the mastermind and the ringleader of crazy crap that we have to talk about. So, Jen, let's jump into your corner here. It's time for the casting cachet.
Well, before we do that, for more news, trailers, reactions, check out the Distance Nerdington post. Let us know what you're nerding out on.
That's right. Guys, anything you are nerding out on, if there is a particular story you want us to talk about, let us know. Nerdington Post is a good place, but also on all the social media. Of course, you can always send us an email at distancenerding@aol.com.
Wow, you went off on that too.
Yep.
So we got a little bit of casting, but we peppered in some spicy casting throughout the show, like little Easter eggs. Yeah, I said it. Joey King's brewing up some magic alongside Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman. The Practical Magic sequel is shaping up like a spellbinding family reunion. Kidman and Bullock are back as the Owen sisters, proving that love curses and great casting run deep. King, if her deal closes, will play Kidman's daughter, officially extending the Owens legacy of enchanted mishaps and heartbreak. So, someone get the midnight margaritas ready. The hangover is gonna be a witch.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that. She looks a lot like Nicole Kidman,
She does
in my
actually.
opinion. Yeah.
No, I agree with that. She 100% looks very Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. And I loved that. I loved the book and I loved the movie.
Hmm.
So, Okay, so let's move along. The Fire Nation's plans are heating up, but Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender
Oh, found it.
just countered with a casting lineup that's ready to bend expectations.
Okay.
Okay. So basically I'm going to go through this lineup,
Okay.
just kind of tell you who they're playing as well. Madison Who as Faye.
Faye.
Faye. A rebel with a cause and probably a few sarcastic one-liners.
Okay.
Daishin Lockman as Yang Chen, a legendary air nomad avatar who'd politely wreck you in a debate. I don't know if these are correct or not.
No, I'm remembering these characters as you talk about them.
Okay. Dolly DeLeon as Lo and Lee, two Fire Nation elders who speak in eerie unison and judge people professionally.
Oh, Lo and Lai are they advise Azula. Oh, dude, they're creepy.
Lily Gao as Ursa,
Ooh.
Zuko's mother who
Mhm.
mysteriously vanishes and is definitely keeping receipts. Terry Chen as Yang Yang, a rogue firebender with major I quit the system energy. I
Yeah,
don't know where I got that like little thing from.
I wonder if he's gonna run around shirtless like he does in the cartoon.
Probably. John Briones as Piandio. Pianado.
Oh,
I
Pyonda.
don't know. A master. Okay, okay. Oh, I don't know who that is. A master swordsman who could probably carve a turkey with a single swipe.
He ends up being Sokka's like master.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Tantu Cardinal as Hama.
Ooh, Hama. Yes.
Yeah. A waterbender with a dark secret and
And
trust
trust
issues.
issues.
Season 2 is wrapped, and with season 3 already in motion, the cast is growing faster than an earthbender's rock wall defense. Are you feeling good about these additions?
I am. I am. I'm happy that they're bringing some of these characters back from the animated series because I'm always skeptical when they go live action. Like, are they going to get rid of characters?
Yeah.
Are they
Or
bringing
merge characters.
right? And it seems like they are kind of bringing in some of the I won't say weirder characters, but like some of the characters that are kind of like darker in some places, and some of the comedic relief. Like Zhang Zhang is very comedic relief.
Yeah.
Um, Hama is kind of a dark character. Lo and Lai are creepy as hell. Uh, like just yeah, some of the stuff that they're bringing into this are gonna be is gonna be great.
I
Oh, and then
remember Hama.
yeah, and then Faye. I want to say that that Katara ends up having a crush on him, and she ends up finding out that he's he's not a good guy.
I remember that. I
Yeah,
remember that whole like the whole storyline.
yeah. Faye, the way they wrote his character was really good because he's like really cocky and he's just kind of like, yeah, I'm best at what I do and I'm a thief and all this other stuff. Then you find out that like he like turns in people and yeah, like he basically is turning people in from to the Fire Nation. Like he's almost like a Fire Nation spy.
Yeah. He's a sympathizer.
Yeah, kind of. Especially like in the Earth Kingdom, that's terrible.
Oh yeah, that's how dare you.
Right.
Okay, moving on. Casting Revolio. Revelio. I'm sorry.
Revelio.
It wasn't my best subject.
It's okay.
HBO has officially unveiled the fresh faces stepping into the legendary roles of Harry, Hermione, and Ron. Dominic McLaughlin will yield the wand as Harry Potter. Arabella Stanton brings her brilliance to Hermione Granger. And Alistair Stout completes the trio as Ron Weasley.
Ron Weasley.
Swish, flick, and a dash of trouble. Hogwarts' new trio is ready to turn mischief into magic.
I'm excited.
I wanted to go wholesome with that.
No, it's good. They absolutely look like troublemaking adorable kids. So this is going to be a problem,
Yeah, Marauder's map should be shaken in its parchment.
right? Mischief managed.
There's not going to be any mischief managed with those three.
They almost look
So,
like they could have been characters in oh, what's the one that Liam really likes?
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson. They almost look like they could be
I was
Percy
going to say
Jackson
that. I was
characters.
like, that trio right there gives me Percy Jackson vibes.
They absolutely do, especially like with the way that they're crouched right there. They just look like they're ready to go and cause ancient Greek mischief.
Yeah, go fight some harpies.
Yeah. Well,
All
they're
right,
gonna
so
fight a
hey,
cake
Phil.
troll. So
Hey, Phil.
what's up?
Did you want to talk about the giveaways? Because
Not
we
yet.
got giveaways, people.
We will have giveaways, but we got merch, people. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We still got some news to get through here. And then as soon as the news is done, we got some giveaways, guys. So keep on holding tight. Because
We're getting closer.
I'm very excited for this, guys. I'm very excited to give these things away and hook everybody up here. I've got to get the wheel ready here in a minute, but let's jump into the news before we
Well,
start getting
let's
into all this.
chill it down a little.
Yeah,
You want me to read it or do you want to read it?
yeah, you can read it.
Okay. We will always have a seat at the bar for Norm. George Wendt, the man who brought Norm Peterson to life and made us all feel like regulars at Cheers, has passed away. He died peacefully in his sleep at home. He was 76. So young.
Yeah,
From 1982 to 1993, Wendt played Norm across all 275 episodes of Cheers. Wendt was nominated 6 times for an Emmy for playing Norm, but never took one home. And Norm didn't end with Cheers. He popped up in Frasier, The Simpsons, Wings, Family Guy, and more. He was like the comedy's universe's connective tissue. He made appearances on MASH, Taxi, Soap, Alice, and reoccurring sketches on SNL like Da Bears.
Duh, Bears.
Outside of comedy, Went had a solid Broadway run too with Art, Hairspray, Elf, and Breakfast at Tiffany's. Cheers to Norm, bigger cheers to George Went. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name and they're always glad you came.
Your delivery is gonna make me cry, Jen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to be
I know. I know.
respectful.
Everybody in the chat is saying it, but yes, rest in peace, Norm. Everybody raise a glass for Norm.
Yeah,
If you don't have a beer to drink for Norm, then go get one.
I don't think we have any beer in the house.
We'll drink something. I'll, yeah. But
You
just
can't,
rest,
they always say you can't toast with water.
yeah. Rest in
Crap,
peace,
that's all I
George
have.
Went. Just all the laughs and everything that he contributed to comedy over the years. You will be missed,
Yeah, I
man.
bet Jason's really sad.
Yeah, sad.
Did someone
Uh,
say beer? I
someone say
guess we're
beer.
over it now.
Yeah, let's move on to the next story here and just kind of get off the depressing foot because I will stay depressed if we do. Looks like the pizza is late for these turtles. Paramount Pictures has officially pushed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2 all the way to September 17th, 2027. That's nearly a full year past its original October 2026 date. Whack. Because the first one's actually really good.
Well, I kind of feel like now that they're not well, now that the animation has been exposed for, doing them. I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Let's just forget I said anything because I
Mm,
don't think I said anything.
it's all okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story here.
That that George Wendt thing did affect me a little bit more than I thought, I guess.
Yeah.
Alex Garland is stepping into the lands between. Oh, great. I got the Elden Ring thing. A24 and Bandai Namco have confirmed that Garland, known for Ex Machina, Annihilation, and most recently Warfare, will direct and write the upcoming live action adaptation of Elden Ring. Yeah. Elden Ring is the awesome, beautifully made, genre defying 2022 action RPG that combined the creativity of Hidetaka Miyazaki
Hmm.
with the fantasy myth weaving talents of George R. Martin. The result was a dark fantasy world crawling with grotesque monsters, twisted lore, and enough player deaths to form a religion.
Yeah.
Well, let me read that again. Enough player deaths to form a religion. Okay. On May 30th, Elden Ring Night Rain drops, which is an intense cooperative experience built around navigating punishing scenarios. Then later this year, the Elden Ring Tarnished Edition arrives for the Nintendo Switch 2. No release date for the film has been announced yet. I know nothing about Elden Ring.
Elden
Not one
Ring.
thing.
I've watched game streams, so I have not played Elden Ring myself. I'm also not a Souls guy. I tried to play the first Dark Souls, and it frustrated the hell out of me. And I was just like, I'm not going to torture myself with this. So I'm not a Dark Souls, Bloodborne guy, all that kind of stuff, which is all. Um, those are all Miyazaki games.
Yeah.
So it's I've watched other people play it though, and it's an interesting game. It is very beautiful. What I'm hoping for is the route that he goes within this is more of a something that lives in the universe of Elden Ring and isn't just a scene for scene copy. Like go the route of Fallout.
Yeah, okay. I could see that. Yeah, that might be a really cool take on it too.
Yeah.
I would
Especially
like
with the
that.
way that the game, the way Elden Ring plays, like go into the history lore and like leave the game alone. Just like go into the lore, like do make a movie about like the history that lives within Elden Ring.
I could see that. I mean, I
Hmm.
I do think that the lore is really cool, but isn't it like an open world, like
It's an open world,
RPG multiplayer thing?
right? And that's the other thing JR is throwing out there right now. It is written by George R. R. Martin, so I mean it is kind of set up in a way where you can make it a film, right? But the thing is
Yeah.
again, go into more of the old school lore and when I say old school lore, like not because the game's not old school, but like go into the history, like make a film about kind of everything that shapes the world that they're in and play and tell a story that lives within that universe rather than going and rehashing stories that have already been told in the games.
Yeah, I think those movies tend to do better,
Right.
or TV series, I guess.
Yeah, because you capture the fans more. It's like, oh, you're gonna go deeper into the lore, and I'm gonna go watch this movie that is a good movie in its own right, but also fits within the universe of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, JR is saying that too.
Yeah, expand the universe,
Expand the
flesh out more
universe.
stories. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I feel like they need to do with this.
absolutely. Do you want to read the next one? I know I tagged myself for it, but you can if you'd like.
No worries. I know you've got a hot take for this one, so we'll jump into this next story here. Uh, the Dark One wins this turning of the wheel. God, that's on point. Amazon Prime Video has officially pulled the plug on the Wheel of Time after 3 seasons. The ambitious adaptation of Robert Jordan's sprawling fantasy epic, which had become a cornerstone of the platform's genre programming, won't be moving forward beyond its already filmed third season. News of the cancellation comes just months after it was reported that iWatch Studios is developing a video game. Between the upcoming video game and the still untapped wealth of source material, the Wheel of Time may spin again, but not on Amazon Prime Video.
I am so mad about this.
Yeah,
Like the show was just getting back on track towards the book,
right. And I
and
know
the
you were
things that
talking about
they
that.
did this season with Ruidian it was just amazing. I mhm. And then they did the whole Elaine and I never remember her name. The IEL girl that always gives Rand a hard time.
Okay.
She and Elaine having their like little tryst is I mean, it's not really mentioned in the books, but I could see where it would be interpreted that way.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to see where they went with that.
Yeah. I mean, so the season 3 is already
And we'll
aired,
never
right?
know what happens to Perrin.
Well, I'm saying season 3 is already aired, right?
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah. So I mean, again, iWatch Studios is developing a game, so I mean, I don't know. It may not be your platform, but I mean that if they're doing a game, they're probably going to like expand on the story.
Well, and
Um,
I have no problem with that. I'll play that game,
mhm. As long
but
as
I
it's
mhm, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say as long as it's like Game of Thrones just came out with a new game that's actually like it seems interesting. The Lord of the Rings games that I played on stream, those were good games. Like if you go the route of that and focus on the story, I think those games could be fairly successful.
I just feel like they didn't give this show enough of a chance.
I hear you on that. Yeah, and again, it's I think they just didn't have the viewership they wanted with it.
And they also canceled like the Kevin Bacon show that was doing so well.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Something horses.
I thought it was like Badlands or something.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, the brand new one.
Okay, okay, no, because he had another show on Amazon, Amazon a while back. Amazon does this thing, so they put out pilots. They'll put out like a pilot show,
Hmm.
right? So they'll do like a season of a show, and if it's they usually do like three different shows. They'll put a single season, and if it's popular, then they'll renew it, right?
Right.
And they, especially like during pilot season, they'll do that. That was like one of their big things that they did. Um, and I think just with Wheel of Time, they just didn't have the numbers they wanted with it. I think the Badlands show, as good as that's supposed to be, I think it's based on a comic too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that the same thing. It's just not getting the numbers they want.
I mean, the Wheel of Time is a really complicated story.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a really complicated story,
The way they're
but they
looking
were
at it,
doing a good job with it.
if it's not Fallout or The Expanse, they don't want it.
Well, because Game of Thrones is dead now, so they
Yeah.
don't want that anymore.
Well, they want their equivalent to Game of Thrones, is what it is.
Let's just chase the thing that's happening right now.
Right, meow.
Right, meow.
Right, meow. So yeah, as much as this sucks, let's move on to the next story here.
Netflix has won again. In a major bidding war among the streamers, Netflix has landed the upcoming series adaptation of The Secret of the Secrets
The
from
secret of the
author
secrets.
Dan Brown
Oh God, Dan
and
Brown.
showrunner Carlton Cruise. It's actually Coos, not Cruise. The untitled drama is set in the world of Brown's anticipated mystery thriller novel, The Secret of the Secrets, the sixth book in his series about Harvard professor of symbology, Robert Langdon. In announcing the publishing date, Brown called The Secret of the Secrets by far the most intricately plotted and ambitious book that I have ever written. And I also happen to think that it's the most fun. He doesn't
Shut
talk
up and
anything
take
like
my
that.
money.
So I do have a synopsis.
We got a synopsis. Let's do it.
The Da Vinci Follow Code Follow Up Opsis. More of Tom Hanks with luscious locks synopsis.
Jesus. The Da Vinci Follow Code Follow Up Synopsis. More of Tom Hanks with luscious lock synopsis.
Synopsis.
In it, symbologist Robert Langdon races against ancient forces and time to rescue a missing scientist and her groundbreaking manuscript, whose discoveries may have the power to forever change humanity's understanding of the mind. The series adaptation will blend futuristic science with mystical lore, delivering on the heart pounding suspense and international intrigue that has made the Langdon stories a global phenomenon. The Secret of the Secrets
Secret of the secret.
novel is set for September 9th release. It's still a secret when the series will hit Netflix.
I'm sorry. I mean, it sounds interesting enough. I'm probably gonna watch it once it's on Netflix.
I really need to get Netflix again. I've been without it so long, I kind of feel like I don't want it back. It's
Yeah.
like me stopping drinking soda.
There are shows where it's like, I keep Netflix around for it, but I'm not happy that I have to like keep Netflix because it gets more and
Right.
more expensive.
No, I totally get it. Like
Mhm.
I just I want to see what it's about first, and then I will, you know,
Yeah,
probably watch it.
absolutely. So let's move on to the next story here. So let's
Or
get
it's a
into
secret.
get to see secret. Let's get into this weekend, guys. Movies are back thanks to a senior citizen doing stunts and being cute and fluffy. Disney's live action redo of Lilo and Stitch and Tom Cruise's final Mission Impossible movie. I don't know why I said it that way. From
I don't know
Paramount,
why you said it that way either.
from because I wanted to say Final Mission Impossible movie from Paramount and Skydance fueled the biggest Memorial Day weekend of all time. Lilo and Stitch blew away all expectations with a record smashing 4-day domestic debut of $192.7 million and a jaw dropping 361.3 million globally, which,
Wow.
for those who don't know, actually beat out its original opening of the original movie.
The
Uh,
animated
the
version?
animated movie, yeah.
Wow.
And Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning opened to the series' best 79 million domestic and a franchise high of 191 million globally. Fun fact, this is the first time Tom Cruise went head to head with Stitch. The Steven Spielberg directed The Minority Report was in a dead heat with the original animated Lilo and Stitch when they opened opposite of each other in June of 2002. Report prevailed by a blue, fluffy hair. Cute and
So it's probably
fluffy.
this isn't the first time.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to go see in theaters this summer? I'll let you guys know. I'm going to go see Lilo and Stitch.
I kind of want to see it.
I
And
haven't seen the
I
last.
refuse to watch the Mission Impossible movies in the
I
theater.
haven't seen the last 3 Mission Impossible movies. So like I wouldn't go see Mission Impossible Final Reckoning right now just because I haven't seen the other 2. Whereas
Mhm.
Lilo and Stitch, I mean, after the trailers came out and seeing like the way it is, Stitch is freaking adorable. And I love they're doing the same exact marketing they did with the first Lilo and Stitch movie where he's just like infiltrating other movies and just messing with people.
Yeah.
And
That
it's like,
was really cute too.
yeah, like that marketing was amazing. And it's like they're doing the same thing. Uh Matt in the chat saying, Stitch is awesome. We're going to go see it again. Also, that popcorn bucket was worth every penny. And then Cam said, I saw it Friday when it came out. We all know Cam is a big Lilo and Stitch fan. So he cosplays a Stitch.
That's so cute. I actually watched the animated version.
Did you? It's good, right?
It was really cute. I do love Stitch, and of course wanted to adopt him immediately.
I mean, Stitch is the only reason you watch that movie is because he's so chaotic, but he's so just adorable and funny at the same time.
It's like you're talking about me.
I know, right? Just like you're adorable and chaotic. Again, like just
And I tend to destroy things.
right. Blue punch buggy.
Oh,
the
my family.
the scene, the best scene. Uh oh, they said Girl Mode said that would be a good crossover, Mission Impossible and Stitch.
What would their double feature name be?
Mission and Stitchable.
How about Stitch Possible?
Stitch Possible. It's like Kim Possible. Also
Yeah.
Disney. No, so like one of my favorite things, like gags from that is him and Jumba throwing the bomb at each other. Happy birthday! It's not my birthday.
That's just like that.
Merry Christmas.
It'd be a great crossover?
Huh.
Stitch and Deadpool.
I'm sure that somebody has done that somewhere.
I mean, I'm just saying, let's make it happen.
Yeah, there's a Deadpool and Boba Fett crossover that's absolutely hilarious, and they like infiltrate Disneyland and start like beating up everybody.
Did Deadpool ever like team up with or fight against Daredevil?
He fought Daredevil.
He
So
fought Daredevil.
there's a very famous panel where they're fighting and Matt uses his senses and the joke, like, all over, like, everywhere on the internet was we finally found out what's in Deadpool's life out pockets, right? and it's because Matt Murdock uses sonar, like his ability to like look into his pockets, and it's basically like half-eaten burritos and like moldy tacos.
That's hilarious. No chimichangas though.
No, because he doesn't like chimichangas. He just likes the word.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's
Uh,
let's let's move on into the next story here. I know you're excited about this, Jen.
I just wanted to do the transition. Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot. I was just excited about the story. Jessica Jones is back. So dust those black leather jackets off. Set photos from Daredevil Born Again 2 Season 2 just dropped, giving us our first look at Kristen Ritter reprising her role as the hard boiled PI. More like alcohol drenched.
Yeah.
As you'll see, she's still rocking the classic leather jacket and jeans combo. These new shots show Ritter filming alongside Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock, who's suited up in a sleek black Daredevil costume emblazoned with the red DD logo. All the rage this year at Fashion Week.
Right.
Ritter
Him
previously
him
shared in
wearing a comic book accurate costume.
right, yeah. Ritter previously shared in a statement, "It's so great to be back, returning to Jessica after 3 seasons and the Defenders, and now joining the MCU. I'm so excited to bring back this iconic character, and without giving too much away, there is a much more in store for Jessica Jones. This is going to be an incredible season." That's
I'm
my
ex-
Christian Ritter.
That's your Kristen Ritter. I'm excited for this just because again, I wanted the Defenders back. I really want the Defenders to show back up in this universe and just, they were much better characters than they got credit for. They did get a lot. I mean, the only person who was kind of the outlier was Danny Rand, but I mean, that had more to do with directing and the way the showrunner ran the show rather than it being an issue with Danny Rand himself.
But speaking of Defenders, according to a new rumor, both Luke Cage and Danny Rand, aka Iron Fist, may appear in Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which will reunite most of the Defenders lineup under the Marvel Studios banner. Marvel is rumored to be lining up a legacy style passing of the torch of Danny Rand, potentially training a new Iron Fist. The second season of Daredevil Born Again is expected to hit Disney Plus in March of 2026.
I wonder if, since they're going that route, if they're gonna ignore the fact that technically Jessica is the new Iron Fist.
Oh, yeah. You're
You
talking
know,
about what is her name?
Daughters of the Dragon.
Cassie? No. Christy?
No.
Somebody tell us
Colleen
who
Wing. Colleen Wing.
Colleen Wing. That's yeah, she Jessica Hinswich,
Right.
I think. Hinswick? No, Hinswick.
Henswit.
She played Colleen.
Right. So like technically Colleen Wing is the Iron Fist at the end of that season. So it's like I wonder if they go that route where he is training her to be Iron Fist. They just like pick up on that. Or if they're going the route of listening to all the fans complaining about how he should be Asian and he's
Which
just
is
training the next
not
Iron
the point of
Fist.
the character, but okay.
Yeah, I mean it's like Batman. It's basically it's a guy with a bunch of privilege, like a rich white guy with a bunch of privilege that has to humble himself and becomes humbled by this experience he has becoming Iron Fist.
Right.
I mean there's going to be a lot of pressure for people to do that. Again, I don't necessarily have a problem with that, with them going that route. I I feel like they should give him another chance, um, with better show running and better direction.
No, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him take up the role again and
He's a good
and be the
actor.
true Iron Fist.
He's a good actor. The issue is that they decided that because they wanted to save money, that they didn't want to give him actual martial arts training, and they didn't want to use a stuntman. So it's like, how are you supposed to be the greatest martial artist in the world, but the showrunner decided we don't want to show him how to be a martial artist because we don't want to pay for that, and we also don't want to use a stuntman because we don't want to pay for that.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like that's what ruined the show was they just decided not to do what they did with Daredevil. Where like Daredevil is that most of it's Charlie Cox doing his own stunts, but when it comes to the fighting stuff, there's always some kind of cut where his stuntman is fighting with a mask on.
Yeah, I mean that's the point.
Yeah,
The whole we're not going to put him in a mask and everything. I was like,
that was
you're
also something that was dumb. It's like, okay, so you're not gonna put the signature mask on Danny Rand, like,
like part of the reason he's called Iron Fist.
right?
Ugh.
So I mean, like, again, I wouldn't mind them allowing him to be Iron Fist again, but like doing it in a way where he gets his just due and he's able to play the character.
James's take on this is my favorite.
Yeah, your mic sounds much better. Jeez, man.
And on that note,
Way
my
to
vision
drop
seems
the.
to be
I would say,
what?
way to drop the ball, James.
My vision seems a little blurry.
Yeah. So is mine. Marvel seems to have a vision for the future, though. Marvel Studios' Vision Quest series is finally coming into focus, and now we know exactly when it's taking place in the MCU timeline. Showrunner Terry Matalas, best known for his work on 12 Monkeys and the final season of Star Trek Picard, recently shared new details about Vision Quest's creative direction. Matalas confirmed that most fans had assumed Vision Quest picks up directly after WandaVision's ending, following White Vision as he tries to piece himself back together mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. We have an opsis if you want to,
Oh, sure, yeah,
introduce
I'll
me
do
into
the
that.
opsis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sort of an unofficial synopsis, opsis. It's more of a blurry vision synopsis.
It's very robotic. I see what you did there. Sort of an unofficial synopsis. It's more of a blurry vision synopsis.
Synopsis.
The series will move forward with a Vision who remembers everything but feels nothing. This also
Like
sets up
me.
this also sets up storylines for rumors of Ultron, Jocasta, and Tommy Maximoff playing major roles.
Tommy?
Tommy.
That's
Um
awesome.
this should be good. I mean, especially if they follow Vision Quest. Vision Quest was a event comic that was really good. And again, like I really want it to go into that deep dark territory of Vision creating his own family and creating kind of like robots of everybody on that. Like I want to see him go full unhinged.
I think it's all going to be in his mind
That could be interesting too.
because that's someplace that, like, we've seen him as like an orbish hologram type thing. And then
Hmm.
we've seen him in a corporeal body.
Right.
So we really haven't explored how his brain works
That'd be
because he's trying
interesting
to be
too.
human,
Right.
but he's really not human. And so I think he has to confront that part of him before he can get back to his humanity.
It'd be interesting to see Vision confront be like or Vision be confronted by a visual representation of Jarvis.
Yeah, that could be it. And it could be played by the guy that played Jarvis in the Peggy Carter
In the Peggy
series
Carter
and
series.
in yeah, in the Avengers In no, in game.
Right, because he could be like, "Who are you?" And then like it's, "I'm who you think you are."
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
Well,
like
he would be
him.
the humanity of him.
Right. Well, it's him coming to terms with that. Jarvis was a real person, and that he was named after the guy that basically helped Tony's dad like do everything.
Yeah, and and helped raise Tony.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think it would
that'd
be really cool.
be
But I
very
do
interesting.
think it's all going to be in his mind.
Again, that's an interesting take.
So mm,
Let's go ahead and move on to this next story here.
that's you, buddy.
Oh well, Jocasta, you say? One of the most intriguing additions to the cast of Vision Quest is the fall of the House of Usher standout Tania Miller has signed on to play Jocasta. According to Deadline, Miller is believed to be one of the series leads, starring opposite Paul Bettany, who returns as the synthezoid Vision. Originally introduced in 1977's Avengers number 162, Jocasta was created by Ultron as a robotic companion modeled on the brain patterns of Janet Van Dyne, aka the Wasp. Spoiler alert, in the comics, Jocasta ultimately rebels against her programming and sides with the Avengers, later struggling with her own identity and even attempting to become more human. The inclusion of James Spader in the cast, reprising his role as Ultron, adds even more weight to to this storyline. Vision Quest is set to debut on Disney Plus sometime in 2026. Uh, it is interesting because if Vision is creating this entire um like if he's doing like an opposite WandaVision thing where he's creating like these people that are around him and whatnot. The
Hmm.
rumor was that James Spader is coming back as a human version of Ultron,
Oh,
which means if James Spader comes back as a human version of Ultron, that would mean that Jocasta would come in and be his wife,
yeah.
if it is based on the character from the comics.
And I don't see why it wouldn't be, especially introducing them in something like this.
Right. And then later on towards the end of the series, it comes out of the vision that he has, quote unquote. And it turns out like the villain really is Ultron, and it's like, his AI has it's spun out, created its own body, and it created Jocasta.
That would be really interesting.
Hmm.
I like that. I still want it to be in his brain.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think the majority of it would be in his brain, but it would be like Ultron is infiltrating his mind.
That would be really cool. Like Ultron gets a hold of him,
Right.
and then and they're just playing it out.
Yeah, it's like almost like a hack, almost like Ultron hacks into Vision's mind and
Oh, that would be
is
amazing.
like projecting himself and Jocasta into his head.
Well, I was going to ask a question about this.
Hmm.
So, do you think it's going to be the weakest of the Westview trilogy?
Do I think it'd be the weakest of the Westview trilogy? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to call because obviously everybody loved WandaVision. Agatha all along was good. I wouldn't say it was like weaker. I mean, it's pretty up there. I don't know if I would say it was better than WandaVision, but I mean like it was definitely like pretty high up in levels. Um,
I felt like it was a good second chapter
yeah,
because those always do tend to be a little darker.
yeah, and I mean like if they're going Vision Quest into this, like you do almost something similar to WandaVision, but rather than it being like, okay, a different era, like TV era, it's all like, okay, everybody that is in like maybe the first two episodes are like real people,
Yeah. Yeah.
and again, it's like all in his head, right? So like everything is like, this is my vision of perfection, and he has created, because in the comics he creates synthezoids, he creates robot that basically is a stand-in for Wanda, is a stand-in for his kids. So that's why I was thinking, like, if they do that, if they go that route, then he's also creating stand-ins for Ultron and Jocasta being like his friends. These are like the
Well, yeah,
neighbors,
because you have to have friends
right?
if you're human.
But like going the route that you're going on it, where it would be uh they're projecting themselves into his head, right? And he has like these creations in his head, kind of how Agatha projected herself into Wanda's universe,
Yeah.
So I think that that's the route that I think that would be an interesting route to go, and kind of like a welcome change from the comic.
Yeah, but they probably won't do it.
You never know. You never know. It's very famous, and we know this now because we've seen it all through the MCU. But Kevin Feige watches our show.
That is true.
Yeah,
Kev does watch.
yeah. The KEV, he watches the show, and he usually takes our ideas. So you are more than welcome to
The
take this idea.
KEV is down with DNP.
Exactly. He's down with DP.
Distance Nerding Podcast.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. No, but I mean, like, Kev, just tell Terry Matalis to come and watch this show and steal all of our ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah. If we do end up seeing our ideas on that show, we're gonna have to, like, okay, dude, you really did watch the show. Are you gonna come on for an interview? What the fuck?
Right. You, all we require as payment for not to sue you is to come on our show.
Is you just come on and spill the tea on the show. All
There
right,
you
well,
go.
let's move on to this last story before we get into giving away all these prizes, because I've got Lego and Build-A-Bear to give away.
Absolutely. And we're going to not do the dance party because we're doing the giveaways.
That's right.
So we'll wrap everything up and do the giveaways.
That's right.
So let's go through this really quick. This should go quick because it's just date changes. Okay, so Marvel bad news. Marvel Studios has officially pushed back the release dates for its next two Avengers tentpoles. Naughty. Avengers Doomsday will now hit theaters on December 18th, 2026, while Avengers Secret Wars has been bumped to December 17th, 2027. Both films were previously slated for May releases. The delay came as part of a bigger shakeup to Disney's theatrical calendar, which also included removing several untitled Marvel projects entirely. Now, Doomsday and Sony's Spider-Man brand new day as the only confirmed MCU features for 2026, signaling a noticeable slowdown in Marvel's release cadence. With the Fantastic Four First Steps set for July 2025, and Spider-Man Brand New Day not swinging in until July 31st, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Fans are looking at a full year without a new MCU film, something we haven't seen since the pandemic gap between Far From Home and Black Widow.
Oh wow. Yeah.
The thinning schedule reflects Disney CEO Bob Iger.
Oh God.
Boo. New approach
Boo.
to Marvel's content machine.
Didn't I put a boo in here? I did.
Boo! You suck!
Marvel Studios has lost little focus by making too much. Iger explained during a recent investor call, chewing on that big old cigar. By consolidating a bit and having Marvel focus much more on their films, we believe that will result in better quality. What do you think of the Marvel movie timeline shakeup? Well, I'm not behind Bob Iger.
Yeah. I mean, I'm usually not behind Bob Iger when it comes to this stuff, but if it means we're gonna get they're giving them more time to do the films and that we're gonna get better films because of it, I am not against it. I mean, I would prefer that the movies come out sooner, but again, if it means that they can focus on the films and they don't have to sit there and go, oh well, we need to get these out, and they end up rushing the movies and they don't end up being as good as they could be, then I'm okay with it.
Well, they're not going to make money if they're not making any movies.
I'm sure there's a reason that they're doing that. I mean, Marvel is their thing, but I'm sure like there's probably like more Disney film or more like maybe there's Star Wars things that they want to put out and they don't
I
want to
never
crowd
thought
it.
you'd be an Iger apologist.
I'm not. I'm saying Disney in general. I'm not apologizing for Iger. Again, where I see the positive in this is they're not rushing the movies, and these films are going to come out and they're going to take a little more time and care with it, and just in general be better films. That's what I worry about. Is again the anti-crunch culture.
I mean, I get it. I just think that with them slowing down with Star Wars
Mhm.
and now this, we're not going to have a lot of nerd stuff to do.
I mean, we'll have other
I like
stuff.
nerd stuff.
Yeah, we'll have other stuff. It'll just not be. Maybe they just don't want to be competition for DC, knowing that DC is about to like go nuts.
We're just going to have to get our comic book fix from DC.
We're just gonna get our comic book
Yippee!
fix specifically from our boy James Gunn. Squint said, "Wait, you think Iger will do that, Phil?" I don't think Iger's doing it because he's being nice, or anything like that. I think it's just I think it's also there's a lot of complaints for like CG not being as good as it could be and things like that. Like you push it out a year, you give them more time without stress to put out a better product. Especially considering that Doomsday is filming right now.
It's really just like 6 months. I'm honestly not that upset about it.
Yeah. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's a big enough of a deal where it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna say it's a good, I'm gonna say it's a net good. Like just the good outweighs the bad.
No, absolutely.